For several years, WTOL 11 has been making a push for a Lucas County Conviction Integrity Unit.
And that push got a big helping hand this week. Lead investigator Brian Duggar live with that update tonight. Brian?
Yes, that helping hand is Commissioner Pete Gerken. He actually reached out to me over the weekend after our story last week on dark pleas. He said he wanted to discuss the Conviction Integrity Unit, and in an interview, he told me he's all in.
We just can't talk about how many ankle monitors there are or how many new prosecutors or bailiffs there are. It has to really be about justice for people that were convicted wrongly, and that happens. We know that happens. It's not deniable. It's happened in our system. A way to help correct that is integrity units.
As of this afternoon, 3,326 people have been exonerated in the United States since 1989, and a large number of those were freed because of work by conviction integrity units.
I've been here for almost 20 years. I've made mistakes. I might have made things, but some of the mistakes I made didn't put people in jail for 20 years.
Since 2019, 11 Investigates has run a series of stories related to issues with the Lucas County judicial system, most notably the 2019 Guilty Without Proof investigation. Wayne Brady and Carl Willis credited the WTOL investigation with them being released in late March. And last week, 11 Investigates reported on post-conviction plea deals, where an inmate with a claim of innocence is offered a chance to go home if he pleads to lesser charges and gives up his fight for exoneration.
It's a level of coercion that I would describe as the legal equivalent of placing a gun to someone's head and forcing them to confess to something that they don't want to do.
Over the years, Justice Donnelly and others have told us that a conviction integrity unit would be a positive move for Lucas County. Those stories caught Gerken's attention, giving life to the idea.
Channel 11's done great work on making this an item that we should in government look at. So let's not be afraid of that conversation.
And that conversation begins with Prosecutor Julia Bates, who has not talked to 11 Investigates since the airing of Guilty Without Proof in 2019. The commissioners fund her budget, but the Conviction Integrity Unit would run through her office.
I think the prosecutor ought to engage with the commissioner's office because we fund her, and if there's cost around this, maybe we should at least talk about that to do it. But we got to give some people some hope. There's got to be a mechanism to right wrongs. Wrongs happen in any system. In the criminal justice system, the weight of that wrong is much higher than if I miss a line of sewer in a development project.
All right, Brian, so the key here seems to be the Lucas County Prosecutor's Office. Any updates on Julia Bates' thoughts?
Yeah, and can actually confirm that Pete Gerken had a conversation with her yesterday afternoon. I don't know how that went. I haven't gotten any response, but I did reach out to her by phone and by email this afternoon and this morning, and I have not heard back from her, not surprisingly. But we're just going to see how the story develops, and it really is huge to have Mr. Gerken behind the idea.
So, Brian, what would a conviction integrity unit look like?
Yeah, the successful ones are usually led by a former defense attorney, which is what we saw up in Wayne County, who has at least one investigator on staff. And the idea is that you re-interview witnesses, you look at new evidence, do DNA testing if possible. You really do a thorough examination of that claim for innocence. In Wayne County, which I just mentioned, they've freed 36 men in the past 5 years, but they have reviewed more than 900 cases. So this isn't, obviously, it doesn't mean that everybody that goes through this is going to get out of prison, but it does give people more confidence in the conviction, which is a really important thing. Reporting in studio, it's Brian Duggar for WTOL 11.